The last 2 episodes of Agatha All Along have been released where, unfortunately, there are no post-credit scenes, but each of these episodes has a twist. In this video, you'll get a separate breakdown of each episode, where I've broken down each episode after watching it. This means the breakdown script for Episode 8 was written after watching Episode 8, without watching Episode 9, while the breakdown for Episode 9 was done after watching Episode 9. I've marked chapters below for easy navigation, so let's discuss Episode 8. Episode 8 begins with Alice's appearance. The last time we saw Alice was at the end of Agatha's trial, where she went to save Agatha, but Agatha absorbed her powers, and Alice was killed. I mentioned this in the breakdown of Episode 5 as well. Alice had just received her powers, her family curse had just been lifted, and she was killed immediately. This was a question Alice herself had in this episode, to which they gave the answer that Alice was a protection who died protecting someone, meaning in the end, she achieved her glory, and hence the episode's title was Follow Me, My Friend, to Glory at the end, where those who die are met by death. Now, in Episode 4, there was a conversation between Agatha and the Rio, where Rio had come to claim bodies, starting with Alice, then Lilia, and finally, the Salem 7. However, I'm surprised at the role of the Salem 7 in this series. They just appeared, caused some commotion, and got killed. Their writing could have been a bit better, but the writing of this episode was quite good. It genuinely felt like the last episode, though it was the second last. Let's discuss Death in more detail. Death is the original Green Witch. This is only heard in this series, as in the comics, Death isn't a witch. But here, it's clarified that anyone who dies will merge back with the earth, making Death the original Green Witch in a sense. However, another thing perfectly set up here is that Death is a cosmic entity maintaining balance in the cosmos. And since William Kaplan's body, claimed by the soul created by Scarlet Witch, disrupted this balance, Rio returned to restore it. I explain his case. Death came either to take him or to take someone else in his place to restore balance. However, Rio's exit from the set was quite amusing. Now moving to the next trial, the next trial was Greenwich's trial, where it seemed that witches had to perform a life form in a morgue. The way to enter the trial was a bit different. In previous trials, people saw homes and castles, but here, everyone had to wear the shoes they removed in respect of the witch's road at the end of the second episode. What shocked me the most was that Agatha mistakenly bound Jennifer, not a doctor, meaning if Agatha had just unbound Jennifer upon meeting her, she wouldn't have had to come to this road at all. No wonder witches hate Agatha. So, the road ejects those who achieve what they came for. Like Jennifer regained her powers and left, and Billy found a body for his brother and left. But by that logic, Alice should have left too as she received her powers, and Lilia should have too as she found her courage. But this seems to happen only in the 5th and final trial. Now, whether we understood anything in this episode or not, we understood that Agatha was attached to her son. When Billy takes the dead body of the drowning boy for his brother, Agatha says, "Sometimes boys die," reflecting her sorrow for losing her son. This also reveals that the hair in Agatha's brooch belongs to her son. Later, she saves Billy when he mentions her son's name. Moving forward, she finds a bird in that same brooch that helps her complete the trial and face death. Now facing death, Agatha does a few things. First, she remembers Lilia's last words from the previous episode, to bow if called a coward by death, which Agatha does. Second, Agatha chants Jennifer's healing spell on the water that Jennifer used to save Billy's life, though we don't see the spell's effect as Billy arrives in his Wiccan form, saving Agatha and giving her his powers. This proves that the amount of power Agatha absorbs is under her control. She doesn't kill Billy. It's clear that she deliberately took the lives of her original coven and Alice. Among all these events, I liked Westview's reaction a lot. They wondered which witch has arrived in their town, while Death herself was in their city. Billy's Wiccan look was a bit rough, but impressive, as he decided to sacrifice himself to save Agatha. Surprisingly, Agatha accepts, showing how many lives she's taken before using the same trick and showing her expertise. Kathryn Hahn has done a remarkable job portraying Agatha. Her expressions remain consistently normal except at the end of Episode 2, where she asked the witches to use their powers on her to steal them, and after Alice's death. Agatha uses the kiss of death to save Billy and sinks into the ground, with death moving away. However, something happened at the episode's end that made me feel Agatha has tricked through again, which is hilarious. I noticed a parallel here. Billy's departure from Westview was similar to Wanda's departure from Westview, though Wanda flew, while poor Billy drove. I'm still wondering where Jennifer is. What shocked me was realizing that the Witch's Road was created by Billy's mind, explaining why everyone's costumes and outfits matched the items in Billy's room. This also made him aware of many things, like which potion was where, and even the Hexen Basin, as they were all parts of his room, either as posters or action figures. Agatha figured this out midway, which is why she commented that Billy takes after his mother. Wanda unknowingly altered Westview for her comfort in a TV series format. And similarly, Billy unknowingly shaped everything here based on his magical inclinations. This is a shocking twist. While we all found the trials a bit strange as a modern take on the witch's trial, seeing the Westview and Eastview flags on the walls in Agatha's trial made no sense initially. Let's talk about Episode 9, continuing from the twists revealed in Episode 8. In Episode 8, we saw a twist where Billy unintentionally created the Witch's Road. Episode 9 brings in yet another twist. This episode begins in the year 1750, where we see Agatha is pregnant, facing death. The Salem Witch Trials, as we saw in WandaVision, happened in 1693, so this event takes place 57 years later. Here, Agatha begs death for a little more time. One thing is already clear. Death doesn't take lives. It simply appears when someone is at the end. But in this instance, death grants Agatha a bit more time to spend with her son, which is why in Episode 8, Death tells Agatha that she gave her special treatment. Initially, I thought we'd see a love story between Agatha and Death, but after watching this episode, it feels like their relationship is more of a love-hate dynamic. Death did Agatha a favor, but later took her son away. We also learn why Nicholas Scratch got the name Scratch, because Agatha, after his birth, says, "No spell, no incantation made from scratch." Agatha continues her survival process by seeking help from various witches and then taking their powers, ultimately ending their lives. Here, we learn the truth about the Ballad of the Witches, a song created by Agatha's son, Nicholas. He used to sing it in different places, leading to the myth that singing this ballad would bring the Witch's Road before them. By facing trials on this road, witches believed they could have one wish fulfilled. While this isn't entirely clarified, it seems that when Death first appeared to Agatha, both she and her son were on the verge of death. Death granted them time, allowing Agatha to kill members of the coven so that Death could claim their bodies while sparing Agatha and Nicholas. But when Nicholas refused to kill the coven, Death came and took him away. Agatha continued to keep herself alive through similar means. When Wanda later traps Agatha in Westview, Death doesn't find bodies to claim, so it comes for Agatha's life instead. The MCU clarifies that witches age differently, which is why characters like Lilia and Jennifer are still alive. However, it seemed Agatha's time had run out when she first encountered Death. The real twist, though, is Agatha using the myth of her son's ballad as a sort of scam to trap new coven members and steal their powers. It's surprising that Agatha does this as soon as she's free from Wanda's spell. We start to understand why Jennifer and other witches distrusted Agatha, eventually leading to rumors about her, such as Jennifer suggesting Agatha might have given her son to Mephisto in exchange for the darkhold. This was bound to happen given Agatha's actions, though we still don't know how she first obtained the darkhold. Plus, it now makes sense why the series creator didn't want to involve Mephisto. Mephisto has no role in this storyline, and Kevin Feige and the producers likely name-dropped him just to keep the audience engaged. Coming back to the current scenario, Agatha knows the Witch's Road is a scam, something that doesn't actually exist, so she's shocked when it genuinely appears before her. She then realizes that the teenage Scarlet Witch's son, Billy, who can manipulate reality like her, is responsible. Here, Agatha breaks the fourth wall, questioning why the series is named Agatha All Along when it's clear from the finale that it's actually Billy all along. At the end of the previous episode, it wasn't Agatha who called out to Billy, but his ghost, following the myth that if someone has unfinished business, they linger as a ghost. Billy saves the coven by summoning the Witch's Road, preventing them from attacking Death with their remaining powers. But a murder did occur here, with Mrs. Hart, or rather Sharon, dying, while only Jennifer survives with her powers intact. We also understand why Agatha sacrificed herself. Seeing Billy reminded her of her own son, and despite her evil nature, there's a glimmer of goodness in her because of her son. Billy's creation of a pentagram at the gate reminded me of Wanda's look in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Agatha, in her ghost form, will help Billy find his brother Tommy, who is likely confused somewhere in a new body with super speed. Rumors suggest we might see Tommy in the upcoming Vision Quest series, which is in active development. Nobody had high hopes for Agatha All Along, but it proved that you can win audiences over with a well-written story, even if the character isn't A-list. This series achieved this on a very low budget, rumored to be less than $10 million. Moreover, Episode 7 of Agatha All Along became the second highest-rated MCU TV episode, with only Loki Season 2's finale topping it. Marvel has also recently released footage related to new content for this year and next, which I'll be discussing in detail soon, covering each character's origin. Stay tuned, and let me know what you thought of this series in the comments with a short review. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and share it, and subscribe to our channel for more contents. To understand the ending of Venom 3, watch the video above. And to know the future of Blade movie, watch the one below. I'll be back with a new video soon.